Okay, the time now is 7 p.m. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Clive. I'm the Director of Membership, and we have worked very closely with our friends over in Chubb for this professional indemnity insurance. There are a lot of questions, a lot of queries. So please allow Jasmine is our underwriter. Allow her to finish her presentation because by then it might, you might have more questions, and we are ready to answer all your questions one by one. Okay, and I will make sure that all queries are answered. If not, we should be able to do that by this evening. Otherwise, Jasmine, take it away, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to check if
Oh,
everybody can hear me.
yeah, good.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, thank you for joining us this evening. Jasmine from Chubb Singapore, a financial lines underwriter, and today we'll be talking about professional indemnity insurance for all of you coaches here today. So I'll jump straight in. Just a very broad definition and explanation of what is a professional indemnity insurance. So it is any actual or alleged error, omission, negligence, misstatement, misleading statement, breach of confidentiality while rendering professional services. So this is just a very brief summary of what we think that you guys are doing and performing, which is coaching. And then per what ICF has provided to us, there is this very four broad definition or categories of coaching, which is team coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and coaching supervision. And there are three different categories of coaches within the ICF spectrum. So usually I leave the claim scenario at the end, but today I'm gonna start with the claim scenario because it looks like there will be a lot of people asking me what are the claims examples that I can provide. So today I have two sets of scenarios, which is the first one will be life coaching claim scenarios. So there are five very broad categories of claims that you might be facing, in rendering of your professional service. So the first one is, a career setback due to advice, the executive coach advise a client to pursue a particular leadership strategy, and then it backfires, resulting in the client being demoted or terminated. So this can cause a claim against you for negligence and seeks compensation. The next one is conflict of interest, which is when you are being hired by both the executive and the employer, and then it turns out that you might favor one or the other. So this might cause a claim against you. The third one will be failure to identify any mental health issues. So your client might display signs of severe stress or burnout, but there's no recommendation of seeking professional mental health support. And then the condition worsens and they might claim against the coach. Yeah. And then the other one is the breach of contract. So the coach failures to deliver the number of sessions or agreed scope of work, and then the client claims for financial loss due to incomplete or inadequate service. The last one is the misuse of confidential information. This confidentiality issue came out a lot in some of the questions being handed to me beforehand. So this will be one item or one area that will be covered under a PI policy, which is some form of breach of confidentiality. Another few more examples will be unqualified advice on personal matters, emotional distress. I'm not going to read all the examples here. I believe we will be sending the slides over for you guys. The third one will be failure to maintain professional boundaries or unrealistic promises or again, another form of breach of confidentiality. So just to briefly talk about why do you need a PI insurance? A lot of clients that I have talked to, they don't think that they need a PI insurance unless it's a contractual requirement by your client. But because, in this current environment is becoming increasingly litigious, so we think that a PI policy, however small the limit is important to protect your own assets. Because, and again, if you are dealing with corporate clients, there may be legal responsibility around it. And usually, if you have a GL policy, it may not cover aspects of a professional liability. And as you grow your business, your freelance business, it is a form of protection. Also, could be a strategy if you want to expand your business. A lot of people do not buy PI insurance because they're not aware of the exposure, or you do not need to, right? Your client did not expect you or require you to purchase a PI insurance. So this is just some introduction to some of the reasons why you should purchase a PI policy. So ICF and Chubb have come together and created a solution, a simple one, a straightforward solution, a PI insurance for ICF members who provide coaching services. So I will be going to continue to talk more about what we are going to provide in terms of coverage, right? So these are the very broad categories. So I'll come back to this, like I think let me explain. So under our PI policy, this is the most important paragraph, right? So Chubb shall pay on behalf of the insured any loss arising from any claim for civil liability in respect of professional services, provided that such claim is first made against the insured during the period of insurance. So I will be talking a lot more about this insuring clause. So firstly, the insured, which is all of you guys, we have amended the definition to a qualified corporate member of the ICF Singapore Chapter. So it will be all members that have decided to sign up for this PI insurance, and then we will add your name and your membership number into the policy. And then what's loss? Loss is all amounts that the qualified corporate member, which I think going forward, I will just refer them to the coaches. So coaches become legally obligated to pay in respect of a claim, but not limited to any damages, judgment, or settlement and defense costs. So defense costs will be all the legal expenses that you need to pay when you need to hire a lawyer to defend you, etc. So professional service means the business performed required to be performed by the coaches. So this will be specifically described in the policy as providing of a coaching service. So a claim basically means the receipt by the coaches of any written demand for civil compensation or civil damages against the coaches, or any originating legal or arbitral process, or any arising out of an actual or alleged breach professional service. So this is a very broad way of describing what we are covering today. So in summary, we are having you to pay all the damages, settlements, and the legal fees that you are required to pay when your clients sue you, for the lack of a better word, right? It's just in the insurance term, we'll be making a claim against you, but in the layman term, it'll be when your client sue you for damages. So these are the things that we'll be covering. Yeah, so this is just a summary of what we have talked about under the insuring clause. So what is covered will be the legal expenses, defense costs, court judgment, settlements, and damages. And then, of course, we have some extensions under the policy. So if you have a contractor or consultant, subcontractor that you have a contractual relationship with that helps you perform work, say you have promised 10 sessions with a corporate company doing executive coaching and you couldn't make it and you have a consultant or a contractor to help you stand in for a few sessions. So we will be covering uh, this as well, but we are not covering the consultant directly. So we are covering any claim made against the coach for any work that the consultant has done wrongly in a way. And then we also have coverage for unintentional defamation, unintentional intellectual property infringement. We do cover some loss of documents, legal representation and investigations. So these are actually official investigation from official body. In Singapore term, it will be when the regulatory body asks you to go drink coffee. So this is the coverage for it. And for any defense costs, legal rep expenses, usually when Chubb helps you during a claim, we would expect you guys to talk to our claims team and have us approve the law firm that of your choice, because our claims teams are experienced. And they would like to make sure that the law firm of your choosing is experienced enough to deal with this type of claims. But in the circumstance that there is not enough time for you to get consent from Chubb, this is where the emergency defense cost coverage comes in. So as long as you can let us know within 30 days grace period, we will still be offering the coverage of all the defense costs and legal rep expenses. The emergency and advancement is the same thing. Yeah, and then for discovery period, if let's say you decide to retire and do not want to continue this coaching career, and then you can just stop the policy and purchase a discovery period. So you can, for example, buy 1 year, 3 years. So the policy will continue to run for another year or another 3 years for in case any claims comes in for any work that you have done in the past. Of course, with extensions, we also have some exclusions. So one of the most important exclusion here is an exclusion for breach of contract and assumed liabilities and duties. So this is something within the contract between you and your client, and you have made certain guarantees in a contract, and you have assumed some liabilities under the contract. So you say that if I didn't do 10 sessions, I'll definitely pay you $1 million, for example. So this breach of contract and assumed liabilities will not be covered. We also do not cover any bodily injury and property damage that is available under a different policy. We also do not cover any financial failure or any investment trading debts. Of course, we do not cover any fraud and dishonesty and intentional conduct. This is a criminal offense. The next one is managerial liability. This is separate policy, which is what we call a D&O policy, where there is a policy that protects the directors and officers. The next one is obligation to employees. So any employee liability that you have, if you have employees, those will not be covered. And the next few ones will be pretty straightforward. Pollution, war and terrorism, employer matters. So employer matters meant that if you have any other claims in the past, that will not be covered. So these are the coverage that we have prepared. The very two simple options. So we have the 100,000 option 1, and option 2 is 250,000 in limit, and there will be a deductible of $2,500. So these we have tried to make it very simple. We have provided full limit for legal rep expenses. So there will be two additional exclusion under this policy. It will be any medical services exclusion and then any financial advice, which means if you decide to give investment advice to the client, that will not be covered because giving financial or investment advice, you need to be licensed under MAS. So these are some of the questions that we have received prior. So let me just quickly go through them, and then if you have any other questions, then we can discuss. So question 1, there's 14 of them. Will you provide group cover or project basis cover? So group cover, I'm not sure what does that mean, but we do offer a separate policy. We will underwrite them separately, which is on an entity basis. So let's say you do have a registered company with ACRA, and then you perform services under the entity, then we can have a separate policy for that. Yeah, and then you can approach Sandra, our insurance rep, for the quote. And we do not cover project basis cover. Yeah. So the next question is, I already have PI insurance but want to reduce my premium. So I think this is for you to analyze if your premium is more or less than what we have proposed today. But let's say if your current policy is an entity cover, we can explore that. If it's an individual cover, then I hope that our two options are more affordable than your current policy. Number 3 is, if I'm not an ICF coach, can I still be entitled to this offer? The simple answer here is no, because these two options is a special package for ICF members only. So we encourage you to be an ICF member and also buy our policy. Yeah. So in what situations can I activate the claims process? That is when you have received a writ of summons or a written demand for compensation. That would be the time that you can alert the Chubb claims team. And then our Chubb claims team will advise you what will be the next step of action. How long is a typical claims process? That really depends on the severity of the claim. Some court cases can take 3 to 5 years. Simple one may take up to 1 year. So it really depends. There is no standard answer for this. Does it cover any legal fees that might incur during? Yes. So this is the whole intention of a policy, is to help you pay the legal fees around a claim against you. Question 4 is, what is the coverage, countries and limits? So I think coverage we have gone through today, limits we have. Countries will be worldwide excluding USA and Canada. So we do cover all the service that you have provided anywhere in the world except USA and Canada. Yes. Question 5, what does the insurance cover? We have gone through that. Does it include both individual and team coaching situation? Yes. So we have taken into account of one-to-one coaching sessions or even a team coaching sessions, that we have already taken account of that. What if you don't get insurance, and what's the worst that may happen? Is that you get sued and you have to pay the legal fees out of your own pocket. So that will probably be the worst case scenario. So insurance is a form of risk management, right? It's also a kind of financial protection. So we encourage that. Question 6. Previously, the insurance was only available for coaches who had business for 3 years or more in Singapore. Is that policy still the same? I don't think I can answer that question because I'm not involved with the previous insurance, or is perhaps you have sought the insurance elsewhere. I'm not too sure, so I don't think I can answer that questions. But for our policy, the insurance is available for coaches who had 0 to 30 years of experience, so we cover a full spectrum of coaches here. Question 7, should all independent coaches get PI insurance? Like I said, it's a form of risk management. and a financial protection. Um, and if you just want to have a peace of mind, you can buy a smaller limit, only at $500. I think is money well spent to have a peace of mind. I think I'll be encouraging that. Question 8, what if I have set up my private limited company? So if this company provides coaching services, um, then I would encourage you to buy an entity policy, because the entity policy will cover the individual coaches as well, because that will be defined as one of the insured. But because what I understand is most of the members do not have a company, it's just freelance individual coaches. That's why we came up with these two plans. But if you have a company, please let Clive know, and then Clive will connect you to our insurance rep, Sandra, and then she will be able to advise further on how do we get that protected. Question 9. Is Singapore citizenship required? Singaporean citizen based in Philippines. Is this covered in the insurance, and do you have to operate from Singapore only? The both is no. So we cover all members of ICF Chapter. The only restriction under this policy is we do not cover any work done in the USA, Canada, any claims arising out of USA and Canada. Question 10. Would like more info on adding more modalities to the policy? I'm a healer practicing multiple non-invasive modalities. This policy is targeted towards coaching services. So if you have other form of professional service, we can review, but not under this plan. Similarly, if you have other insurance requirement, insurance needs, you can again approach Sandra, our insurance rep, and then she can advise further. Question 11 is, will the cover be cross-country coaching engagement international? Yes, worldwide without USA and Canada. Will it cover virtual and in-person contracts? Yes, so we cover all forms of coaching. Will it cover cyber liability in terms of retaining personal confidential documents? So this gets a bit tricky. It depends on the originating cost of this loss. We do cover breach of confidentiality, but we do not cover if your systems get hacked. So that is a separate policy. It's a cyber policy that we can offer to entities only. But if your computer systems get hacked and then there is a breach of confidentiality, that will not be covered, because we do not cover any cyber liability. But in the meantime, you have accidentally leak confidential information out of negligence, and then you get sued for breach of confidentiality, then that will be covered. So the only difference here is whether is a negligent breach or you get hacked. Like there's a cyber incident, actual cyber incident, then the cyber incident will not be covered. The last question is, does it cover Japan for coaches based in Japan? Yes, as long as you're not providing service in the US or Canada. So I'm pretty much done, unless we have more questions from the audience.
There are some
Yeah,
questions in the
there's
chat.
some questions. So allow me to share. So first one is from Andrew. Andrew is asking, what's the difference between loss and claims?
Loss is let me go back to the loss is the amount that you need to pay, or the compensation that you have been demanded, right? Say you out of negligence, your client sue you for 500,000. So the 500,000 is a loss. But the claim is an action. The claim is you have to receive a return demand on a writ of summons from, like, a lawyer letter, for example. So that is the difference. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. Andrew, I hope that answers your question. If not, please send in another question, okay? So Jasmine, is it okay to share this slide with everybody?
Yes, of course.
Okay, good. So Jack, with that is answered. Arun is asking, oh, is this policy only for individuals or are sole proprietorships allowed?
Sole proprietorship, if you have an entity name, if it's an entity name, then you need to seek a separate cover. But sole proprietorship may comes in the form of a name, then that is okay. Yeah, under ACRA, you can have a sole proprietorship under just your own name. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's okay. But if it's a company, like an entity, something private limited, then we will be encouraging you to seek a separate cover.
Mm. Okay.
Sorry, could you say that again, please? Because that's not really very clear about
Right,
the
so
difference between the sole proprietorship and the LLC.
Individual.
yeah, so LLC or private limited is just companies and entities, right? So for that, you need to seek a separate cover. But sole proprietorship under Singapore ACRA law, you can either have an entity name like ABC Private Limited, or you can actually sign up as your own name, your own legal name as the legal name of the sole proprietorship. That's how ACRA
Okay, I
allows.
think I see where the confusion is because if you're a sole proprietor, your entity name will not end with LLC or a private limited. Those will not be used for a sole proprietorship. I think that is where the confusion happened. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. And also the sole proprietor name need not be your name. It could be ABC. So in that case, is this covered?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, if the sole proprietor name is your own name, then yes, it's covered.
If it's APC.
No, if it is not, if it's not my own
If it's
name.
an entity name, it's not because you need to find a separate cover. This is only for individual member, not an entity.
But sorry, just to push back on that, I'm not sure that completely makes sense because for many of us, in order for us to even operate a business in Singapore, we need to have either a sole proprietorship or an LLC, even if we're just working on our own.
Yeah.
And we're the only one we want to insure.
Correct. So I think, correct me if my understanding is wrong. The moment that it is an LLC or a private limited company, okay, you are not covered. You need to apply a separate.
That's right.
Yeah. Am
I
I?
think you have explained that better than me, so that is
Okay,
correct.
cool. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Jasmine, I think
Yes.
Renee's concern is because for foreigner, they can't just come out and coach, like Singaporeans. So which is why for them to be able to do that, they might have there's a requirement for them
Yeah.
to be like you need a LOC in a company or something like that. Renee, is that correct? Is that what you're concerned?
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. We need to set up either a sole proprietorship or a limited liability company. So, for example, for myself, I have a sole proprietorship, but the name of my company is not my name.
Yeah.
But it's just me, right? And so the only person I'm looking to insure is myself. So that's the question: is this PI insurance applicable to me, even though my company is called RCHR? Instead of Renee
I got you.
Conflict.
Yes. So that depends whether the claim is made against you or your company. You can still buy this insurance, but you will only be covered when the claim is made against you personally. If you're worried that the claim might be made against your company name, because that is likely to be the name on your invoice, then I would encourage you to buy an entity cover because that will cover both of you.
Jasmine, this is funny. I think that if you make it simple and say follow sole proprietorship according to what ACRA says, because
Yes, correct.
even if you
concur.
claim against the company name, like my company could be, ABC Consulting, right? It is actually by ACRA definition, they will sue my entire asset. That's the definition of sole proprietorship.
Correct.
So let's
Absolutely
just
correct.
be clear that ACRA, according to the number, on the UEN that we are given by ACRA, and it is a legal definition that is a sole proprietorship, then this should be able to cover all of us.
Correct. Agree.
Okay. Let me do more work on this sole proprietorship, and then let's see if we can revise the terms. But let me go look it up more.
Yeah, because for our expats coaches, this is the challenge that they have. There are a lot of requirements for them to follow in order to just, provide the coaching service. So,
Okay.
Renee, would you give us more time? Let me work with Chubb on this and then
Okay.
No, but
maybe
in the
we'll get back.
meantime, while y'all go and check, can we have a draft copy of what we are going to buy and all of the terms and conditions?
Yes, it's with ICF already.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
and another point, actually, I know many Singaporean coach, and they have their own private limited as well. So the key point is you cover individual. Yes, it's nice, but if you go to cover a private limited, even if it's a private limited with only one coach, your policy is going to cost something like 4, 5, 6 times what it would cost for a coach in Europe to be covered. So why?
That unfortunately seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah,
Good question.
it is the case. It is the case. So
Pascal,
why? Chubb is a worldwide company. So I'm sure the plan in Europe is very different.
Sorry, do you mind repeating the question again?
Yes, we talk already. So two things. First, there are plenty of serious coach, Singaporean coach. They have their own private limited. They don't coach like this
Yeah.
and contract individually. They contract to their private limited. So this is one. Second is, I know that if I go to you to cover my private limited, even if I'm the only employee and even if I own this company 100%, I will have to pay 4, 5, 6, 7 times what it would cost me to be covered if I were a coach in Europe.
Premium amount. Right.
Yes. Yeah, so I won't pay 500, I won't pay 700, I would pay 3,000, 3,005
Yep.
$. And if I were doing that in Europe, in UK, in France, in Germany, I would pay 400 euro, which is 600.
Okay.
So why?
Why is it different?
Yes, I think 1 to 5, 1 to 6 is a bit different. Yes, to me.
Well, I have not seen a 7 times premium, but if let's say your proposal shows that you are the only coach and you're looking at the similar limit, then I don't think it will be 6, 7 times. But note that $500, $750 option, the limit is way smaller. So if you're looking at 3K, 4K premium, the limit that you received might be $1 million. That's why the difference.
Okay, but anyway, again, I know coach that makes hundreds of thousands of euro of revenue as a coach with their company, and they pay 400 euro per year to be covered. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. So this explains why so many coaches do not cover themselves, do not buy insurance here in Singapore.
Premium difference in
Europe, Singapore, and Europe.
Premium. Right. Okay, one of the I do not have the exact answer for it, but based on the insurance experience, the population in Europe is probably 100 times of Singapore. So the premium pool that the insurance company can get is different, and the legal environment is different. So I can't comment why the premium in Europe is cheaper. That is the only reason that probably I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, I just share that with you because don't be surprised. There won't be many subscribers. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll let
Because there is
every coach
yeah,
decide whether they want to sign up or not.
But I think maybe my view, and we talk about we talk together. I talk together with both of you. My view is you could have offered something for private limited as well. Maybe not 500, maybe not 700, but maybe like say 1,000. And I'm sure you would have interest of people being covered. I know that if I go to you, it's going to be minimum 2.5, 3,000, maybe more. So that's all.
Yeah, and
Jasmine,
then
Jasmine, can I add to that? Can I
yeah.
slightly rephrase in another request?
Thank you.
And I'm appearing now as not a board member, but as myself.
Okay.
And what I would just like to ask you, could you go away and maybe consider coming back with a second proposal, which is for ICF Singapore members, local chapter members, that are operating on an LLC for a variety of reasons, but where actually their company is comprised of one person. So I think that that's just what the ask is. I've lived here for many years, so I understand the landscape extremely well. But if you could maybe come back to us with an additional proposal that is targeted for those members that do have an LLC where in their company they are the 100% owner and there's only one person in that company, right? Because we are becoming more litigious. We all understand that. That's the reason many of us choose to create an LLC.
Yeah.
So could we sort of reframe that and maybe come back with a second proposal?
Yeah, of course. I think the first discussion we had with ICF, not with Clive, I think it's a previous
Yeah, it was with
board,
Leah.
board member that we had a discussion, and then the outcome of that discussion is that there are not a lot of LLC. That's why we were being asked to provide only individual member option. So I think this is a bit of a misunderstanding, but we can definitely provide a sole proprietorship
Yeah.
option.
Look,
Yeah, this is just not being asked and not being requested.
So
before
if
that.
I can formally ask it, so I'll now formally ask it as a
I
board
will
member.
formally accept the request and work on
Yes.
that.
So let me now ask it as the board member of Social Impact. Could you
Okay.
please come and provide a second proposal
Yeah.
that is targeted to the segment of the ICF membership that has an LLC and put some parameters around it, where it depends on the ownership structure, the number of people, the revenue, because I've been down this path many times. So put some parameters around it. We all expect that.
Okay.
But let me just reaffirm, within the membership, there are different segments, and there's definitely a sizable set of interest from people that actually have an LLC.
That's interesting. It's the first time we're hearing this, but okay, we will work on that. Yeah.
No, that would be great if
And-
you could do
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
And
Thank
if,
you.
and if you could extend that to private limited, 100% owned by the coach and only one employee as well.
Okay.
Same structure.
Yeah, and that was exactly my point as well, that you do come back with the parameters, because in the LLCs you will find in the community there's a significant number that have created an LLC, but there's like one
Yeah, no
person,
problem.
right?
Jasmine, also, could you look for the sole proprietor under our name, etc.? For the current limits, it's like 100,000 and 250,000.
Yeah.
Can we have an option where it's up to $1 million, and what would the premium be like for that? Because, like what you said, if you get sued, very rarely will someone try to go for like $10,000. They're going to whack you with $500,000. So I just
Exactly.
hope
I love this request.
Yeah,
I'll
correct.
work on
So
it right
can
now.
can we have that considered
Yes.
too?
I'm more than happy to give you that option. No problem.
All right. I mean, rather be safe than sorry, but it's also in
Yes,
terms of numbers, right?
that is the whole
Because to me,
point.
100 grand for $500 a year, I don't exactly feel very safe or secure.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm just being honest here, yeah.
Yeah, that is also correct.
So Jasmine, we will work together and come up with another policy that is for entities, as what you put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we will
Okay.
share with the members who are interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jasmine, just a last point from me. This is Fanny again. Because if you go into the ACRA website, and because I hear that the comments are from expatriate, but for locals we are governed a little bit differently from the tax purposes. So we don't call ourselves an LLC, right? So an LLC is a bit different from an ACRA definition. So if you could just go into the website, talk to the ACRA people to understand. And we are still having the ask of like, if it is suing me as my name, as well as suing me as my sole proprietorship company, which is maybe called FA Consulting, right? Which is just myself, right? And that's different from a private limited.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
And
you.
that's a wonderful clarification as well. So, Jasmine, maybe you need a table that addresses us because you've got a whole bunch of segments within here. And, maybe what you're doing is the sole proprietor and you're doing the company. Let's just loosely use the word company, but I mean from an ACRA definition. And you've got people that are Singapore citizens, you've got permanent residents, and then you've got the others that are on work permits, because there's really the three categories, and the requirements are all so different. So maybe that's what we would need, because as a chapter, we do have a membership that covers all the groups. So I'm sorry, I've given you a
No
whole lot
problem.
more work.
It's fine. That's fine. That's my job. No problem.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, Jasmine.
Jasmine, I have a question. You
Yeah.
mentioned your coverage is through litigation to the courts. What about through mediation?
Yeah, it's the same. It's covered.
It's also covered, right?
Yes.
So even small claim tribunal, the
Yes.
claims are also covered.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jasmine, when will you be getting back to us so we can put this in our calendars?
I don't have a definite deadline for now, but it's gonna be maybe 1-2 weeks for me to get this in order.
Is end this week
Oh,
possible? Because you got
sorry?
us excited. I
Oh,
think is
really?
end
That's
this
good.
week possible because you got all of us excited. I don't think we have the patience of waiting for another extra week for you to get back to us, especially when it's a money-making opportunity for Chubb.
All right.
Okay.
Well, never made anybody excited before, but okay, I'll try to do it. What is the date today?
Today is 21st.
Today is Wednesday.
I will try early
Yeah, I mean,
February.
Nicholas, we want things as
Yeah.
fast as well, but we have to be fair to Jasmine, right?
Sure.
Let her work on it and make sure all angles are
No
covered.
pressure lah, no
Yeah.
pressure. But sooner rather
A
than
bit of
later would be
pressure.
appreciated.
Yeah, of course, of course. We want to get this out to all members as soon as we can because we know that this is something that everyone is very keen in. So I will, of course, broadcast to everybody on what's next. So today we can square off the individual policy first, and then the entity one will continue to work on it,
Okay.
right?
Thank you.
Okay. So next, oh, Jong-suk. Joseph is asking, what's the coverage of the practice if her practice includes coaching, facilitating, consulting, and education? Does it cover all the services that's provided, or what does it cover?
It depends what does facilitating consulting means. But the main aim of the policy is only for coaching services.
Okay. So Sherry. This is an interesting question from Cheryl. What does claims arising out of US, Canada mean? Does it mean if a client is based in these countries, but I'm sued in Singapore, it's still excluded?
It depends where you provide the service as well.
So
So
any
you can be providing the service in Germany and get sued in Thailand, that's fine. But if you provide the service in US and get sued in Singapore, that's not covered. So anything where the claim arise out of US courts, that's not covered. Any service provided in the US is not covered.
so anything out of US, Canada is okay. It's covered.
Anything out of US is okay.
Okay. Next. Okay, Vandana coverage. We'll work on that. So after this,
What
we
about
will.
a question here? What happens if your clients are American, but you're based in Singapore and the consults are done remotely in American time?
In American time is also a time somewhere else, so the time is not a problem.
But
If
the
it's an
client is
American
American.
citizen, it's okay as long as they don't sue you in US.
Okay, cool.
You give the consultation in Singapore. Then
Yeah, if you provide a service remotely in Singapore for an American citizen, it's okay as long as they are not physically in the US.
Oh, as long as they are American, but whether they are physically
They're
in the US or
Americans,
not,
it's
it doesn't
okay.
matter, right?
Doesn't matter, just not in the US.
Good to know. Share.
谢谢.
Okay.
Can I clarify on this point further? Earlier you said any claims from a US court, and now you say the client is physically in the US.
Because
There's a
yeah.
difference between the two.
So under the policy, we have something called a territory and a jurisdiction. Territory is where you are the physical location where you are providing the service. Jurisdiction is where the claims arise out of. So if you get sued in the US, that's why I just use a layman term and say US court. So the T and J, the territory and jurisdiction, both are worldwide, excluding USA. That's why we talk about whether you provide the service in the US and you get sued in the US. These both scenarios are not covered.
But in terms of territorial, if we are based in Singapore and if we are offering the services out of Singapore, then technically I'm operating in Singapore,
Yes, but
regardless where the client is.
this is a good point. Let me come back to you on that point because the policy definition can be very complicated, but I'll come back to you on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Jasmine, just to further complicate things a little,
please.
there are different definitions of client as well. So many of us coaches are associates of certain coaching companies. So let's say the coaching company is in US or Canada, and we deliver coaching for APAC coaches who can also be clients, or legally they are the clients of those coaching companies. But the service is really provided in APAC, but the US or Canadian company, if they sue us, does it only matter which court they go to? Or as long as they are US company, we are considered that the US company? I'm sorry?
Did you say APAC?
Asia Pacific.
Yeah, Asia Pacific.
So that you are employed by the APAC entity?
No. So we are employed by, let's say, in this case, as a freelancer for as a contracted coach for an American company. And this American company gives us this Asia client to coach, right? So if anything happens and this American company decides to sue us for this service that is rendered in Asia, how would that be taken?
But your clients are not from the US, right?
Yeah, so here that's the complication is the client definition of the client. It should be the coaching company, not the coachee in general.
Yeah.
Okay, this is complicates it.
It complicates, but let me go look into it. I will definitely come back to you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, I think that answers Lawrence's question because okay. Oh, Su Ching is asking what else do coaches normally get sued for? Just now you had some more commonly coaches being sued reason, isn't it? Okay, that one is covered. Yeah, scenarios. Okay, switching this one, we shared the slides with you. It is self-explanatory, so take your time and go through it, please. So Connie is asking limits for other country except US and Canada. So now it's only specific, excluding US and Canada, covering rest of the world, right,
Yes.
Jasmine? Okay.
Correct.
All right, Sarah's. Okay, Sarah is asking something similar about individual and entity, so that one will come back to you.
Yeah.
Jenny is asking, will it be more expensive if you're buying the insurance under our entity name? Okay, that you can compare. Okay, once the entity policy is worked out, then you compare. You want to buy entity or individual? Okay. Okay, I think Yolanda, we have answered that as well. Where can we get information on entity coverage? We'll come back to all members. Okay, entity. So entity is also quite popular. So that one we can come back to them. So probably okay. Oh, the rest are chats. Let me see. Yeah, Jasmine, is there when we talk about entity, is it LLC and LLC and sole
Private limited.
proprietorship and private limited?
Yeah.
As long as it's a company,
Yeah,
non-breathing one, yeah.
yeah.
Breathing one is individual.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Hi, Clive.
Yeah, Vandana. Yes.
Hi. I think my question got missed in between. You were upon it and then we moved on. So if we were to sign up, what is the coverage start date? That was my question. And
Oh.
who'll be handling the process of enrollment and point of contact?
So we will after this we will come up with a sign up form. We will send to all members, and when do we for individuals we have up to 1st March, right? We'll give everybody 1 month to consider. If you are okay with the form, you just sign up the details of the form. I will work with Jasmine to provide her with all the information that is necessary. And then, one key thing is that we need 50 individuals to sign up. Only then will Chubb proceed with the insurance. Anything less than 50 packs, we will not proceed. They will not proceed. No, I don't proceed. They will not proceed. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jasmine. Yeah.
That's
50
correct.
packs, okay. Vandana, did that answer your question?
Okay, so Jasmine,
Yes,
you have your
yes.
work cut out. Help us help you meet your numbers of 50.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay. So what else?
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Amira,
Hi.
yes. Hi.
Sorry. So I'm a Singaporean, but I'm based in China. And I'm operating here as an individual. A lot of my clients are, all over the world. And I'm operating online most of the time. So online as a location, is it just considered of where I call in as a coach?
Yeah, that is similar to the question that we had before. So I will be clarifying that, and then we will come back to you on that because remote work has may have a different definition in the policy. So I may need to clarify that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now, Joanne is asking, can I find out if there's any advice on what the coaching contract terms need to include so that it is backed up with the insurance cover? So is there something that the insurance policy will provide or propose so that, when coaches are drafting their contracts, it is parked somewhere or something like that?
I don't think I'm at a position to advise contract work. That should be reviewed by a
Lawyer.
lawyer. Yeah.
Okay, right. This is a good question from Wendy. What if I'm a member, bought the PI insurance from you, and then along the way, drop out the SCF membership? Is the insurance still going to cover the member?
Unfortunately, no. The policy is tied to ICF members only.
So once they stop their membership, the policy will not cover anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still going through the questions. Priya is asking, has a coach been sued before? Did you hear of anything, Jasmine, or?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I have not personally seen a claim for coaches before. But that being said, life coaching, executive coaching, may be a bit more popular, I would say, these 5 years or so. So in the past, I have not seen, but going forward, there are more and more life coaches. So it's hard to say, but not for me personally, for the past 10 years.
Okay, right. Jong Suk, I don't really understand this question. Jong Suk was saying, say, for example, I'm a digital nomad, so I move around freelancing. Am I buying the premium with my passport number, or do we take it to the individual's ICF membership number?
ICF membership number.
Okay, right. Okay. Oh, that's one. Okay, Amira has asked a question. Okay. Okay, I will not read out the chats and answers by the members. Okay, so that's all the questions that
Jasmine,
viewers in
can
the
you
chat.
try? Okay, this I'm just seeding an idea. Can you think of this ratio like $1,000 premium for $1,000,000 coverage?
For individual or for your
Yeah,
annuity?
individual. The sole proprietorship one, the individual one.
Wait. So proprietorship one is an entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's based on an individual. So let's work on whatever that we are talking about based on your sole proprietorship definition, your LLC definition, and your private limited definition. So the one that we are discussing today is the entity one, right? Let's call
No.
it our personal entity. Okay. So right now the limit is 250 grand, right?
This
Yeah.
for individual.
Yeah, the individual. So
Ah.
for individual, can you come up with like maybe $1,000 for $1,000,000 coverage?
I will need to come back to you. I
Okay, cool.
can't promise you
No,
on the
like I
spot.
said, I'm just seeding an
Yeah.
idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
That's
Nicholas,
a
are
big
you
idea.
asking? Is Nicholas asking for 1,000 premium? What is the coverage maximum that an individual can receive?
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So okay, and then of course for individual who want 1,000,000 coverage, maybe also so those who want to feel more secured, and because lawsuit is really not cheap, then maybe
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but I've seen a comment just now that they have some other policies that may be very competitive. So if you don't mind, if you can share with Clive and then they will pass it on to Chubb, that would be amazing. And then I will try to make it as competitive as I can for
Yes,
you
that's
guys.
me. Happy to do so, Clive.
Yeah.
I think I shared with either Leah or someone else before. I'll send it to you.
Yep. Thank
about
you.
what? I will just look into a question.
The coverage.
850.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Can.
Sure. If it's from another insurance company, then Chucky will take it offline.
Okay,
Okay.
can.
Thank you. Right. Chong Sok. Yeah, Jasmine, so these questions, I can also share with you the video on all the questions that has been asked, and then we can review it
Thank
and
you.
work on it along the way. For the members as well, if there are still some questions, take your time, think about it. If there are more questions, send email to the membership account, and then we will again follow up. At the same time, Jasmine and I will work together to get ready the I would call it a show of interest form or something like that, so that
Yeah, please.
we can get a number before we really decide to proceed on or not. Otherwise, if we did all this
I think you can
after
actually get a rough feel by getting a vote right now. I think you can leave this session by already getting a number.
Nicholas,
Just
I can't
ask
do
us.
that. I can't do that. I will send to all members, right? I will send to all members, within our database, and I will let them get back to me. So there's no rush to make a decision. Okay, so we want this to be readily thought out and fully covered, and there are no blind spots. Everybody knows what they're paying for, what's being covered, and then you make a right decision. There's no need to rush. I know you're very eager. We'll maybe work on your policy first. I give him a $1,000,000 policy, but for the rest of the members, Everyone has a different pace to do it, so I'm not going to rush. That's which is why we say we have about 30 days to think about it to sign up. So well, any more question, guys? You can just come off mute and ask questions straight away. Since we are here, you might also trigger some questions that we have not thought of. Anyone?
Okay, hi, my name is Jess Malani. I
Hi.
am the past president from 2018 for the ICF Singapore Chapter. And
Hi.
during our term, we had put this idea through that as coaches, if we are going to be professional about our business, we would need to look at getting indemnity insurance. So it really gives me great pleasure to see that we are making so much progress here. My question to you, Justin, is that you have heard us all talk about the various concerns, aspects, because we do have to buy from the market insurance coverage to continue our practice. So based on different factors that have been brought in, one of the other considerations I would like you to add is that executive coaches, we have a contractual requirement of about $2 million as a coverage.
Contractual
And
requirement from who?
from companies that would be probably
Yeah.
contracting us as a coach. Maybe they are in the US or they are in the UK, but in Singapore or Asia, they would contract us as an executive coach to deliver the services. So it covers all the aspects of your policy, but the coverage amount may need to be in different chunks. So some may want a coverage of 500,000, some may want 1 million. So if you could also give us these different numbers, and also Yolanda, your question is to me, where is this information from? This is from me. I am the one who has to cover myself for 2 million for these contracts.
Yeah, I think for the $2 million cover, you probably is best to take this separately and not within this scheme, because not the vast majority of the members have this requirement, and also depends on your own clientele. Contractual requirement varies very differently. So if you have a higher limit requested from your client, I think it's best to have it separately.
Okay. Thanks for that. And but
problem.
the point still is that what would
Yes, I
then be the
understand.
chunk
Contractual requirement is
what will be the number? Like will you give us different numbers, which means 100,000 or 500,000 or 1 million or 1.5 billion as the insurance coverage? And maybe we can also consider it to be in a standard format. Would it be that you use it for Singapore dollars, or you also make it for US dollars?
Yeah, we can explore that option. You guys can provide any feedback requests, like someone said in the chat box that, we can collate those feedback and see if we can come up with a better plan.
Sounds good. Okay, there was another question which I'm not too sure if got answered, is that some of our members are also part of coaching platforms, which are virtual platforms, like a Better Up was mentioned here. Would this insurance cover the individual coaches if they are performing or they are part of Better Up? Is that something that you could also give us clarity on?
Yes, that is also kind of related to the remote working question. But if you guys have provide a service on the platform, I suppose you have some form of a contract with the platform. And then if you are the one who has a claim against you, no matter what platform, I think that will be covered.
Okay, sounds great. So I think thank you everyone for your participation, and I must applaud the Singapore team for all the hard work that you're doing to pursue this and bring this together. Very excited, just like all of you, to hear what else we can do to take our chapter to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, anyone else has any question?
We had a very good session. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Thanks,
Nicholas.
Jasmine. Thanks for the hard work, Clive.
Thank you.
No problem. If not, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We shall end the session here. Any more queries, please feel free to email me. Okay, you know where that mail is. Otherwise, thank you. Have a good evening and take your time to think about this policy offer. Thank you.
Thank you.